What is up, All Day fam? For the first time this season, hello and welcome to All Day, hosted by your boy Brett Davern. We'll get to know each other. And Lofa Tatupu. What's up, my man?
Good, brother. Blessed. Grateful to be here. Grateful y'all be here. Excited. Can't wait to get into this.
Thanks to all of you for tuning in. Make sure you're filling up the chat with your questions and things that you want to hear us speak upon specifically. Also, make sure you're telling your friends that we're out there and that we're on, and make sure that you're subscribing and hitting the thumbs up and all of the good YouTube stuff that you're supposed to be doing while you are filling up that chat and saying hello to us. The first question I have for you today, my friend, is where the hell were you today? Because I was with you yesterday at camp, and then today, instead of it being like, where's G, where's Luke, it was more like, where the hell was Lofa Tatupu?
Your boy got heat stroke. I swear, and I can laugh about it now.
I've had it before. I've had it once before.
So you know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've never had it before, but injuries happen during camp, even for former players. And I made the mistake of playing basketball at 6:30 in the morning. Went straight to camp, and it was very hot out there. I lost a lot of weight. Producer Katie gave me water, thank God, or else I don't know if I would be here. But I was puking last night and woke up in a pool of sweat. And, yeah, I didn't make it today. Didn't make it to practice. Did not participate.
Speaking of losing weight, you've lost weight in general. You look great. You're trim.
Thank you.
You're looking lean.
Tell my wife.
Looking fierce.
Okay.
We were at camp yesterday together on the sidelines. Producer Mike was there. Producer Katie was there. Every single person that came up to you was like, my God, man, you are shredded.
I don't know if I was just out of shape my whole career. Like it was almost insulting. Some of the words. The worst word was skinny. I did not appreciate that. But then Nico Thorpe, the Torpedo, he came and he's like, "No, don't ever call a man skinny." That's my Nico impression. And he said he's fit, and I was like, "Thank you, easy." As everybody knows, easy. That's Nico's thing.
Yeah. At first, you're like, "Hey, thanks for the compliment for that first person." Second person, you're like, "All right, like." Cool. Fourth person, you're like, wait a minute, was I fat?
Right? Maybe I was.
Dude, well, either way, you're looking good, man. We should answer the question, though, because we've been watching the comments. We've been looking at the videos that we've been putting up lately. The question is, where is G? Where is Luke? What the hell happened? Even my own mom, producer Mike, was like, wait a minute. I watched an episode. Luke Wilson's there. There's no way. Like, my own mother was like, there's no way you're hosting that show. So let's just answer the questions right off the bat. Luke, I mean, my God, he's full of commitments. He's up in Canada. He's doing his thing. And he's far too busy to be joking around with us. So we wish Luke well and doing his thing in Canada, A. And for G, I mean, dude, G. What is there to say about the legend?
You want to talk about busy? G's like a big bro to me. Love you, G. And I know he's got everything from auctioneer to his own show. You got to follow him, please. Show G love because he is one of the pioneers. Him and KJ and Mike, man, they gave us this opportunity and invited us on. So the reset with G Scott, go give him a follow, all the social handles, and make sure can we put that up at the pin that at the top, Big Mike.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, they were great to us while we were doing Take 12. G, we even went to Touchdown City, right, and hung out with him. It was great to see him at practice yesterday, and just like big ups to him and respect and thank you very much for the opportunity that we've been given over here. And like Lofa said, you guys go check out them, go check out what they're up to because they're doing big things. But all day continues over here, man. And first, right off the bat, like we got to give a shout out to one of our sponsors. We're sponsored by Delta Airlines. Thank you very much to Delta Airlines for flying me up here this weekend. I put a video on my Instagram, but they really, truly do have the most comfortable seats.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you.
Did you get Comfort Plus?
No.
Oh, man.
I was back in economy. I was going to say,
what?
I was going to leave that part out.
All right. Well, I mean, I got wide shoulders, so they still put me in Comfort Plus.
Dude, I'm telling you, though, I sat down in the seat and I was like, That's what Delta feels like. And even if they weren't a sponsor, I would say the same thing. But Delta's the best. They have a program that you can sign up for the 12 status if you're a Seahawk fan. Even if you're not a Seahawk fan, if you live in the state of Washington, sign up for 12 status because you get a mile for every yard the Seahawks throw for, whether Geno Smith drops back and throws it, or it's Sam Howell, or even if they have Eskridge throwing the ball.
Yeah.
If
or
they
Walker.
complete
Hey,
the pass.
Don't count out Walker.
Anybody.
Yeah, anybody.
If Lofa runs out there and throws the ball and it's completed, you get miles for that. So shout out to Delta, and they're the best, and thanks for taking care of us. Camp observations, though. Okay, so you and I and Mike and producer Katie, who is here as well from Take 12, sticking with the squad. We were out there at practice yesterday, out by the lake, beautiful setting, Blue Angels flying overhead. But we were there for some business, man, and so were the players because no one is messing around this season.
No, not at all. And, especially not the big man, McDonald. 3-hour practice, maybe a little longer, day before a padded session. So, I mean, that sounds like the days I went through when I was, young in this league. And so, but that builds an element of toughness. And, they're all going through it together. So I'm excited to see, just how I think that's – really, we've always had talent. And I think that just that mental and physical toughness that he's setting the foundation and the standard for is, the defenses that we came to see with the Legion of Boom and the likes of that. So I'm excited.
As we're talking about our camp observations here, you guys, from yesterday and today, make sure you're filling up the chat. You're asking the questions, which I see you guys are doing. And so we're going to get to those as soon as possible. But yeah, man. I mean, we had great access. Shout out to the Seahawks, being on the sideline right there. And I mean, having the sweat sprayed at us. We were very, very close. But you could really get a feel for the culture that they're building, the culture that they want to build, the culture that Coach Mack is bringing from his experience probably with the Ravens and elsewhere. But it was a different feel than I've felt the last few years having gone out to camp with our podcast, Take 12. Not necessarily that it's better or that it's positive, negative, whatever. I'm just saying there's definitely a different feel when you're out there. It's very businesslike. It's very serious. And I think more than ever, they know that there's a job to do and some business to be done this season, and that this season's a prove-it season for not only the new coaching staff, but I think a lot of players.
Oh, like I said, I hate to reiterate it, but 3 hours out there before a padded session, you know what you're in line for. You know what's expected. And it was, guys, the tempo wasn't crazy. So for the former players, when you hear 3 hours, you're just like, there's no way. That's not sustainable. It was, a lot of teachable moments where they slowed things down, even walked through at times. Drills that I hadn't seen before, taking
what?
The 7-on-7 and doing half line. You could do that with the run game to focus on it.
You have to slow down. Hold on. What does that mean? You have to slow it down for people like me, people watching out there. 7-on-7, I think we understand that. There's 7 going on 7, but half line, what does that mean?
So it's just half of the field, and they're really breaking down the concept. So it'll be 2 receivers, or if it's the trip side, they'll just run that side of the concept, and you'll just have those 3 or 4 guys instead of 7 all over the field. And it's just, you can't help but learn more, I believe, because I'd never seen it. I was really impressed with seeing that drill. So that, and then they broke into a straight out walkthrough tempo. The special moment or special situation where they called it out.
The mystery moment.
The mystery moment.
Yes.
I've never seen that. We have situational awareness, where they're that's I love how he just throws it out there, and I don't think he gives them any update, idea of what's going to be the situation or the mystery moment. So they were backed up, and they just offense has to get a first down or defense has to get a 3-and-out to win. Those are the circumstances to win because you want to keep them pinned down on defense, and on offense you have to get at least some breathing room, 1 or 2 first downs to get potentially, flip field position. So it was cool.
Yeah, well, that's and like you said, I mean, I've never heard of that before, or at least them doing that here. This giving the team both sides, offense and defense, something they didn't know was coming, and you got to go at it. Have you ever done that?
No,
at any level?
not really. It was like I said, something
Unique.
I hadn't seen. Yeah, and so it keeps the guys in the moment, and I think that's the teaching point, or what strategically McDonald is trying to get conveyed to these guys. So just a little more situational awareness, and like, because we'll do like sudden change and like, but we know sudden change is coming. It's like, yeah, like, oh, they just threw an interception. It would be during like a scrimmage type thing where you work on those things, but he broke it down, and I've heard they've done this every day, so that's exciting.
Oh, I got some stuff they did out there today on day 2 that producer Mike and I were just like salivating over. We're going to get to that. We're still sticking with day 1 here. I'm going through my notes. You guys are filling up the chat. Once again, thanks for joining the All Day Podcast. That's Lofa Tatupu. I'm Brett Davern. We'll get into more of who I am as you guys get to know us. I'll keep it a mystery, just like the Seahawks keep their situations sometimes a mystery. But my notes here, vibe, serious and it's business-like. We kind of talked about that. The next thing on my notes here, DK, TD, red zone situations. That was the first TD of the day yesterday. Went to DK, contested pass. I think it was like front. Oh, no, that was was it front corner or like sideline? It was a great ball.
That might have been when I was signing autographs. Sorry, kind of a big deal. I did miss that one. I caught a sweet catch by Russell and Bobo. But yes, about that touchdown.
I was watching practice. He's signing autographs, kissing babies over by the rope. Anyway, DK had a great pass.
He's going to be the threat in the red zone.
I know you guys love DK. I wanted to give you some DK content.
Yeah. We don't get enough of it. But,
he's target number 1. He has to be. And, Mike and I were sitting there today at Lumen just going, there is clearly a focus on getting him the ball, and why wouldn't there be?
Well, even there was a deep one that Julian Love, shout out to Julian Love, unbelievable player. He picked off. It was a cover. It was quarters, so we had I think Boykin was running up the sideline with him, and the quarterback just believes, hey, I'm just going to put it up there and give him a chance. And Love just made a great angle and intercepted the route. But I mean, if DK, even with 2 people there, like, you still have a great chance with his spatial awareness and how he attacks the ball on high points. High pointed, Brett, means you jump as high as you can and catch the ball. Oh, okay,
I got that one.
Just try to make sure.
Okay, sticking with the offense for a second, because we're just going there. Sticking with the offense, I think this offense has weapons. We all know that. It has weapons at the skill positions. You got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, JSN. They bring in Laviska Shenault. You got D. Eskridge, who I'm not saying that D. Eskridge is going to set the league on fire. I don't know what I'm saying, but I've been to 2 days of Seahawks practice, and that's the quickest, fastest guy on the field.
Very explosive.
That's all I'm saying. He's returning kicks. He's returning punts. In one-on-one stuff today, he was burning every single person that he went against. It didn't matter who they put on him. He was burning them. And not just in like, he would break the coverage and go deep. He would break the coverage, go deep, but then give him a stutter step and then keep going deep. I mean, he was, I don't know what I'm saying, but D. Eskridge, if that's what you're going to be, I'm here for that, because we've been waiting for that. So he's out there. Bobo's out there.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. That guy's everywhere.
Did you see there's the one across the middle, the one on the sideline right near us? It was tight coverage. I thought if that wasn't a perfectly thrown ball by Walker, it almost got tipped. He still had the wherewithal to keep concentration. He caught it, arms extended. I think the Hawks put it up on their website. The picture is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's been making catches all camp. I have 3 check marks next to Bobo, which means 3 good catches.
Yeah, and then he turned upfield and scored. No one caught him.
Yeah, and I was trying to talk to you, like, he's one of those guys that, like, I'm not sure if he has like the breakaway, go deep, just send him whatever, but because like when you see it, and you can see the whole field, the ball goes up and it's like you're looking down, you're like, oh, he's kind of covered. But as soon as the ball comes in, he just has this ability to get open at the last moment in a savvy way.
Yeah, it's called route running, brother. It's called route running, man. He's got the
damn pro.
Don't be fooled. He's got the moves.
That's incredible,
right?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
With those wide receiver weapons, I was really noticing, and I think basically what we're talking about here, guys, is the offense and the offensive scheme, and Ryan Grubb and everything that he's going to bring, but the tight ends. And most of all, Noah Fant, who looks like he is just hungry to have a huge season. I don't think he was happy not having any touchdown catches last season, and he's ready to go this season. But also Barner, the rookie, is just catching everything out there.
Barner looked great. Westover, your boy.
Love it.
Right?
Go Dogs.
Yeah, I don't think UW used him enough. That guy's a stud. And then Brady Russell.
Yes.
He made a phenomenal.
With the hair.
Yeah, the hair, the energy,
flow.
showing abs too. Like, dude, he just got the swag. So, I mean, I think he's going to be, preseason fan favorite. You guys are going to love him. I bet you he's going to run down on kickoff and, hit people, lay the boom. So that's a guy to keep in mind too. I would love to see him at linebacker. Guy's a monster. He's got to be 6'3", 250. And he can move. Just saying.
Wow.
If we can't keep him at tight end, we got so many tight ends.
He's one of those crazy guys. Like I was watching practice, and he's just one of those guys like you see on. It has to be one on every team every year. You had to see it when you were playing. Like the guy with the hair who's just kind of wild and crazy, and you're like, who's that guy? Why is he everywhere? Why is he catching everything?
They didn't always have hair, but
why is he going?
But yes, we always had a
100 miles
crazy
an
one.
hour.
Yeah, we always had a crazy man.
Who was the craziest guy you ever played with?
The craziest?
Like in this kind of way, like wacky.
Oh man. If you can't think of one, does that mean it's you? Like Hawthorne was crazy, like awesome in terms of like I was like, Hawthorne, to make this team, you got to go down and split that wedge. You knocked 2 guys out on the wedge.
You can't do that anymore.
No, it's
The
not
new
yeah.
kickoff. We're gonna have to get into the new kickoff. I saw the new kickoff today. I got thoughts about the new kickoff.
Owen Schmidt. Y'all remember Owen Schmidt?
Of course,
And
Owen Schmidt.
know you remember
The rolling
Jaguars.
beer truck.
Yeah, Jaguars game. He came out the tunnel, right? And just started smashing his head. And then, he had to go out there and kick off. They had to like glue his eyebrow together because there's blood everywhere. We'll find that clip. It is epic. And like it got the whole sideline going, right? That's the kind of energy I'm talking about. I think we won 41-0.
Because he took his own helmet and started smashing his face with it.
Yeah, that's not. Do not advise that, kids, if you're watching.
It's not sustainable for 17 games.
No.
No.
But yeah.
But it worked that one time.
He was a monster. Loved Owen Schmidt.
Owen Schmidt. I think the reason I said the rolling beer truck is because I think he was once described as like a runaway beer truck.
Yeah, it's a good,
to
accurate
look that
description. Yeah.
Saturday, I moved to my Saturday notes, which again, you were not here for.
Today is Saturday.
I know. That's what I mean.
Oh, practice.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Practice today out at Lumen Field. FanFest, everybody. If you guys were out there at FanFest, hit up the chat. Let us know that you were there. Where were you? And what did you think about FanFest out there at Lumen Field? It was a sweaty one if you were in the sun. But if you were in the shade, you were enjoying the Seahawks out there running around, man, and making plays. The defense is really what stood out to me today. The defensive line stood out to me today. And some cool things that they were doing for the event. So, producer Mike and I love this. They did one-on-one battles in a way that I've never seen them do. They put the dudes' names up on the scoreboard, and they were like, and now, Bobo's going against Witherspoon. And it was just them on the field in front of everybody. Either PJ Walker or Sam Howell had the ball, and they're like, one-on-one, like get open in front of everybody. It was awesome. And not only did they do receiver versus DB, but then they did like DN versus offensive lineman, like Mafe versus, Forsyth or whatever. And then, but they put their names on the scoreboard. It was like, dun, dun, dun.
Like Thunderdome.
Thunderdome, dude.
Enter.
It was kind of awesome, actually. Wasn't it? It was kind of great.
Did they do running backs, linebackers?
Yes, they did like K9 against I can't remember who he was going against, but it was against a linebacker.
Was it pass rushing or was it route running?
K9 was getting open.
Oh, that drill is such bullshit. Oh, am I allowed
It was
to
fun as a
swear?
fan.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. We're on the internet.
Yeah, I know. My bad. But
It was fun as a fan, dude.
yeah.
I'm there as a fan, man. I'm there to watch the show.
And
the show was
I'm
awesome.
going to put you out there and try to cover
Producer
Katie. You couldn't even cover Producer Katie.
Producer Katie supplying drinks.
So they have the whole field to work with. And if you went off of like a play clock, like, quarterbacks like getting pressured, it's a realistic, drill that you would, see in the game. But that thing's not transferable. There's so many times you got initial coverage and then the quarterback's just holding on the ball.
I don't know. I think I could see who could win and make the team off that. I think I saw everything I need to see.
Well, that's not
As a
all
fan.
that football is.
It was
so.
glorious. So producer Mike and I are howling from the stands. It was great. No, I don't know the football of it or whatever, but from a fan perspective, and cheers, brother.
Cheers to you guys.
Cheers to you guys. Thanks for
Thanks
listening.
for joining us.
For what they were trying to do. Yeah, that's gasoline right there. That's straight gas. For the show of it, it was incredible.
I'm sure the actor, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
so the theatrics.
Entertainer,
Did
everybody.
they play the music too?
Well, they were playing music the whole time. They had the music pumping the whole time. They never stopped the music out there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was going. But the way, not only was it a cool way to watch the guys go against each other, because the offense didn't win every time. Sometimes the D won. And we're Seahawks fans, man. And I had to remind Mike the whole time. I said, because we were kind of bummed if the offense didn't make the play. But then I reminded him, I said, but that's our defense, dude. So don't worry about it. Right. We got to root for both sides here. But not only was it a cool way to watch the players go one-on-one against each other, and I'm sure they got hyped for it, but it was a cool way for the team to introduce the fans to some of the new guys. It was just kind of a cool hype moment.
I'm sorry. I'm sad I missed it.
All right, that was cool.
Yeah, I don't know what you offered me there, partner.
There was a scuffle.
Oh,
there was a scuffle.
Now we're talking.
Can I report on the scuffle that was out there?
What happened?
Well, so Coach Mack, and we get it, they don't want the cameras rolling out there at practice for most of it, so we don't have footage of this stuff. And if you see footage of it online, it's bootleg, and it was taken by some fan who wasn't supposed to be recording. But there was it wasn't one-on-one, was it? There was maybe like a 7-on-7, like passing kind of thing going on. Offense versus defense, but one of the safeties kind of dumped one of the receivers hard, and everybody came swarming in. And I mean, one of the offensive guys came from a long way away, and I've not seen that big an offensive guy kind of just give it to a defensive guy who wasn't as big, but he went flying, and the whole team piled in. And I mean, it got big, but it got squashed fast because it looked like it was gonna get heated. But the point is that the fire and the passion that they're playing with, and the way that it happened, and the way that guys were stepping in for each other, both on offense and on defense, because I'm not laying blame anywhere here. I think the whole thing was awesome. I love to see it with my team. I love to see people having each other's backs. I mean,
absolutely.
Take us inside of camp fights, please.
Oh, I mean, it happens all the time. Who won? Do you give me any details?
That's a good question, Mike. Who won?
In your opinion? 50-50, huh? Yeah. Okay. It's safety. It had to be Jenkins. He's a dog.
It was. We could play a guessing game with the fans. Because I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything. I don't want to get on.
Oh, well, no, I'm just saying, like, who I thought it was.
It was not. I can say it was not Jenkins. No.
Because he's got a physical play style.
I will say Jenkins was running around and making plays, and I noticed him for sure. Number
beast.
2.
Yeah, beast.
Yeah, he looked great out there.
I mean, unbelievable acquisition by
it's not him, though.
John and Coach. But, yeah. Okay. Well, we're in the dog days. They've had 6 straight days of practice. Yeah. And when you're just hitting the same person over and over again, it's just like some guys take a little too far because maybe, especially like when you put the competition up there, kind of like you said they just did with the offense, defense, and one-on-one. We all got egos, and, you don't want to have someone get the best of you. And so, and then the chippiness and the jarring goes back and forth. And then shit happens, man.
But now, okay, I understand all that. Now take us inside of some camp fights. Tell us some stories.
Some camp fights?
I want to know.
See, now I'm trying to think.
Some good dust-ups back in the day?
I mean, it happened so quickly. I can't remember one, like, clearly. Like, it usually just turns into a muddle, right? And everybody's just, like, grabbing a collar.
Some guy hangs on too long or whatever. Like, I guess that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, like, what does it do to a team, and what's it like afterwards? Like, how does it, how do you deal with it?
Every coach is different. Like, Holmgren, you're gone. Like, take your ass to the locker room.
Okay.
Pete, separate. Hey, coaches, talk to your guys, because if this happens in a game, we have to cool them down. And so it's a case-by-case basis. But the worst thing you could do is throw a punch when a guy has a helmet on. I mean, throw some rib shots. I'm not advocating for fighting, but come on. Like
be smart.
These are your moneymakers. Like, don't – it's how you get interceptions, how you get off of blocks. Like,
sure.
why am I going to punch somebody in the face
Right.
when he's got a helmet on?
Yeah.
Right.
Right, but most people listening, and like myself and, you know, producer Katie, producer Mike, like, we don't get in a fight with someone at work and then go have lunch with them.
Yeah, it's a different environment.
That's what I'm saying. So take me inside of that environment. Like, what's that like? I mean, you just go dish up the mashed potatoes and sit down and have a good time, or what?
You leave it on the field.
Okay.
Like, you know, I've never seen anything boil over. I'll say that much. Like, you know, even like, and it's going to get broken up because we all are brothers, but it's just like, dude, you're not there anymore. You're just like gone. You know, you're not in the moment anymore. It's another opponent, and you're just trying to beat the shit out of them. And like, so, and it gets there sometimes, especially like I said, the dog days. Like when you go that many in a row, it's, man, you're delusional.
But you know, you on the same team. I mean, football is not unique in this way or whatever. I don't know the way football is set up. I love that your offense is always going against your defense, and it's all season long. How does that work?
Oh,
I mean,
once you get
how
into
heated does it get?
No, and that almost never happens in season. Like we're just hitting each other in preseason. Yeah, and like we finally got the pads on. We have been talking shit all off season. Like especially you know, a new guy comes out like, oh man, you know, I beat you at that other team. You know, you had to come join us. Like that stuff goes on, right? And then you know, you go one-on-one, and then it gets personal, right? So, but once you get into the season, that's it's like, all right, we have to turn our attention to the other teams, and like all that other bullshit's gone.
Well, with this team, and I don't know if you felt it yesterday, but I mean, I think I'm kind of feeling it right now, which is like, it's not as if, I mean, they're a team. You can feel it. They're together. I think, you know, the culture feels really good. The attitude around it feels really good, but they are competing. They want to beat each other individually. And I mean, to me, it's a good thing. Like that iron sharpens iron, you know, competition breeds the best results, that kind of thing. And it you know, we saw it spill over a little bit there. And to me, I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about good thing. It's good that from what you told me and how you broke it down.
I like the identity of it.
Yeah, the attitude, right? That's that mental toughness I was talking about that he's building, and you know what's expected. But at the end of the day, like you also got to think, all right, there's like 90 guys competing for 53 spots, so some of that has to play a factor, right? Like this is our job, right? It's a very rare job. Like I said, the environment, you can't do this anywhere else. You shouldn't even do it.
You could try.
Shouldn't even do it there.
You could try. How many of you have tried? That worked. Okay, Byron Murphy. Okay, watching reps 2 days in a row, watching them take what are practice reps, we know. But the thing is that whoever goes before him and whoever goes after him should switch their place in line, because when he goes, it looks completely different than anyone else. The hype is so real right now for this guys. We watched him in person. I don't know if you guys have been there. If you have been there, let us know what you've seen. But for me, I'm over the moon excited. I'm buying into all of the hype. I want a jersey. I'm all in. I'm all in on this guy. I'm all but putting his name in the Ring of Honor already, and I know that's too much, so slow me down a little bit. But I'm pumped, dude.
Expectations,
I am absolutely pumped for this guy. I mean, every rep he takes. I mean, he's faster. He's more explosive. He's out there almost every play. They weren't even taking him off the. I'm not even really sure what I'm supposed to say. Listen, he was awesome.
Yeah, I was surprised when he was still there.
Yeah.
For us to pick. You know, obviously, I think the run on quarterbacks is what had to do with that. We got lucky, but yeah, for him to fall to us, it's his instincts, his size and speed for that, it's just very rare. And I've even had a tough time drawing a comparable, for everybody. Aaron Donald is high praise, and I don't think anybody deserves, those kind of expectations, even if they are a 16th pick, right?
That is the name that keeps being said, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's bigger than Aaron. Like, that's when Aaron was leaving, college. And then, Aaron really got in the weight room. He got his sleep and nutrition dialed in, and he ascended to even higher heights, right? And but Aaron, he ran a 4.6, right? Murph ran a 4.8. I think he ran faster than me at 40. But what I would say is, I think maybe between John and Mac, they probably came up with his name because they looked at him, and to me, he kind of looks like Justin Madubuike, who had like 12 or 13 sacks for the Ravens last year, something like that. You got to fact check me,
Sign me
sorry,
up
because
for
I think
that.
it was double digits, and at a D tackle at double digits, that's unbelievable. But I think he's someone, whether it's run, pass rush, he's only going to keep getting better. But even Leonard was on NFL Network today after the practice talking about he's very impressed with a kid. Usually first rounders like himself are drafted just based off of physical prowess. This one was drafted because he's so much more than that.
I'm going to the red phone here. On Twitter, Coach Mike McDonald quoted after the thing today at Lumen Field on Byron Murphy. He says, quote, "He's the guy that we thought he was. Let's not crown him yet, but he's on the way. He's a force in there. I think the guys see it. I'm pleased with his effort. The guy brings it every day. He's a rookie. There's things that we want to attack, but he's a savvy football player. He knows what he's doing out there. He's not lost. He plays fast. He plays rugged." Oh, you know I love that. So I think the future is bright for Mr. Murphy. The coach called him Mr. Murphy. What more do you need?
I mean, that's respect right there.
I think we should call him Mr. Murphy from now on.
That's the only way I'll address him from now on. That's,
He's
yes, sir, Mr.
he's
Murphy.
Mr. Murphy. Haven't even played a preseason game yet, and the coach is calling him Mr. Murphy.
Yeah,
That's pretty special.
incredible.
Yeah, and the D line. So now, I mean, that opens it up. I want to talk about the D line in general because you mentioned Leonard Williams, or right? Sorry, I was gonna say Weaver.
Oh, Dreamweaver. Shout out to Weaver.
You got Mafe, you got Chenna, you got our guy Jonathan Hankins, who we talked to after practice yesterday. You guys can go find the video here on the YouTube channel. But let's not forget Jaron Reed, by the way. Who could we would never forget Jaron Reed, but just I think that speaks to the depth on D line, and I think knock on wood, but D line is a strength of this team.
Yeah, and Draymond Jones, who like so,
name.
like yeah,
There you go,
just
Daryl Taylor. I mean,
DT, yeah.
well, because he falls into the linebacker outside. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it's still the front, right? It's
No, I know.
with-
I'm not trying to disrespect anyone. I'm just saying it's not that I forgot him.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, so yeah, it's an embarrassment of riches, as they would say, and that's how McDonald built his defense over in Baltimore, and so just I can't wait to see it all come together. I can't wait to see live bullets when we get to the preseason games and just really get to watch these guys, see them implement the scheme and attack, because that's the style of defense that he has.
I'm going through my notes here, just seeing if there's anything else before we go to the questions here. Producer Mike, you're compiling some questions here? Yeah, he's giving me the thumbs up over there. I wrote down Murphy is real. We talked about that. What else you got before we open it up here to people? You got anything?
Defense, just excited to see the linebacker, right?
Yeah.
The linebackers. And,
linebackers, exactly. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
go. Because I was a linebacker. I
know.
thought maybe we should mention those guys.
That's a good point. We should mention.
But Baker and Dotson, they two guys that when you turn on the tape, man, they just run through people, like we're used to seeing in defense over the years here. And it's incredible. I can't wait to and they're well-rounded players. Whether it's pass, blitz, they can do it all. So them, and then the young guy Knight, gonna see what he's all about, right?
Yep.
His tape led the entire NCAA in tackles, and then he made plays behind tackles for loss, sacks, interceptions, well-rounded. It seems like that's the mold of what McDonald really values. And you look at who he had, Roquan and Patty Queen over there in Baltimore. So, not to say that this is what we have. I'm saying like they no weakness in their game, and that's of serious value.
Yeah, I noticed today Radigan, lot of time out
Ratty.
there. Knight getting a lot of time out there, and looking good doing it. Patty O'Connell.
Patrick O'Connell.
You want to talk about your favorite Irish linebacker?
Yeah, Patty. He's a special guy because he came from Montana. He's a Grizzly and played D-end his entire career. And so to move back and handle the volume of information that he has, I got to consult for the Hawks last year with Pete, and spent some time in that linebacker room, and it was really impressive because when you move a guy that's undersized at D-end and pulling back to 5 yards behind the ball at stand-up linebacker, the game really slows down the further you move back, and that's like one of the transitions that a lot of guys can make. That it's still tough, but the skill set they developed at the line of scrimmage translates so well with as long as they're instinctual and smart.
If you guys have specific questions, make sure you fill up the chat. I notice that you are. We could probably respond to some of these things. I see right here, Kevin O'Connell. I'll respond to him first of all. The Eskridge thing. He's like, how does he become a factor? That's crazy. Listen, go to practice and then tell me that's crazy. Producer Mike and I are sitting there looking at each other going, are we crazy or is this a thing? I mean, first of all, not only is he catching almost everything today at least and just burning dudes, but then returning kicks and returning punts, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy so far, which, not to make excuses or anything, but I'm sure you could speak to health and just, what that does to an athlete and how they're not able to perform at their best. So I know, and I'm just trying to say, I hear you, because today I said to myself, am I seriously saying this about this guy? But I am. So believe it when you see it. But health is such a huge thing for these guys, and especially, coming out of college and they get this different workload. And listen, we give him some time sometimes. But if a guy can be healthy, a guy like that, there's a reason he was taken that high in the first place. And I don't know if you were out at Lumen today, but I was, and I saw why. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, health is wealth, bro. I don't know where you want me to go with that. You were the one that was going crazy with it.
I do not have to go anywhere.
O'Connell, I see you. That's hilarious.
Listen, I'm not even gonna say, like, if he goes off, let's check the tape, because I won't believe it myself. But if it happens, it happens. So there you go.
See you, Kevin O'Connell. I see
you. Okay. Positions that we think, position groups that we think are strengths of the team, and then position groups that we're looking at. I don't want to say that aren't strengths of the team, but are just ones that we're looking at that might need some help, or whatever the phraseology is that you want me to use.
Help is, I think, the accurate word, but I don't think there is a weakness now. I think the only one of concern would be quarterback, right? And I think that's every franchise's concern, is they got a starter and then they have backups that they love, but it's not just generally who you'd want to see start in a game, because you're paying a starter to do the job and carry the team and be that dude.
Well, sorry, did I interrupt you?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go.
So it's and we don't talk about injuries. We got great news though on Gino, right?
That's
Is that where you want to go?
Well, I was going to.
All right, well, go ahead.
Do you want to read it? You can read it.
Well, no, I'm not reading anything. Go ahead, play. Oh, can you play the clip?
It's Ian Rappaport. Yeah.
Oh, Rappaport.
We will get technologically advanced to play the clip, but there's a clip. Ian Rappaport is reporting that Geno Smith should be back at practice on Monday.
Yeah, it was out there, in all the news that the imaging he needed, right? So we're not breaking any news. Came out great, right? And so that's great news for Hawks fans.
Yeah, he was out there today at the FanFest. He was signing autographs, and he's out there in street clothes and everything. And we saw him after practice yesterday. He was walking around and signing autographs and stuff. And so I think whatever happened, but it's training camp, and those things happen.
But of concern is then we shift our attention to the back quarterbacks. And so what have you seen from there today as they were in pads? Because I'm going to tell you what I saw yesterday.
Okay.
But you go ahead and tell me what you saw today.
Well, today we saw some inconsistent play at quarterback. I would say that when Sam Howell was taking the reps, he was under pressure a lot, I would say. So it was hard to decide if it was our insanely good defensive line that was just in the backfield the whole time, or if it was him, not getting the ball out. But he was under pressure a lot. He was scrambling a lot. When he did scramble, he was making plays and making first downs, so he was able to use his legs out there. PJ Walker, on the other hand, was getting the ball out. He was throwing from the pocket more and just completing passes, honestly, like just finding guys over the middle and moving the ball and things like that. So when it comes to backup, I think that race is probably more wide open than some might think.
It's closer than people think. And Howell, I think they're both future starters. I will say that. And
Really?
Howell was a starter,
Right.
right? For a whole year, and he threw for a lot of yards. Gave us hell last year, and Walker had a solid game against us. I think it was a touchdown, 2 interceptions, but it was a close game. Came down to the immaculate deflection, right, off Jamal's helmet
right.
to
That's right.
I think it was Julian Love went up and got it, right? But so they're both very capable. But what I saw, Walker looks very comfortable with the scheme, and they're both new to it. So make of that what you will, but I'm just saying he was decisive with his throws. A lot of them were on time or early, leading the receiver, getting them open. How phenomenal arm, just missed a couple throws is all I saw. And so, yeah, that race I really believe is closer, but I think the world of both those guys. I think they're both future starters in this league.
Well, with Geno missing some time, missing some practice, it gave them a chance to look at these two guys, I think, more closely.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about Geno missing time and like him being rusty when he comes back. I mean, you saw what he did the last 2 years. The proof's out there, right? And so just these guys are going to get the reps they need should anything happen during the season. So not too worried about it, and happy for these guys to get more experience.
If you guys got questions for us, specific questions on anything we've seen out there at Seahawks practice the last 2 days, or just, I don't know, anything you want to ask us at all, put it in the chat. I'm not afraid to answer any question.
I'll ask a question. Producer Katie, please.
Indulge our friend here. Put it in the chat there, everybody. Once again, we're the All Day Podcast. I'm Brett Davern. That's Lofa Tutupu. And one of our other lovely sponsors that we'd like to tell you guys about is EpicSeats.com. Check them out, whether you're buying or selling seats. I keep looking at our own screen, Mike. I'm sorry, but I'm supposed to look into the camera. Check out EpicSeats.com, everybody, whether you're buying or selling your seats to anything. It's a local Seattle company. These guys went to the UW. They're born and raised here in the Northwest, so why would you go to any of those national or big-time, whatever, international ticket brokers? Go to EpicSeats.com. It's not just events for Seattle-based stuff. It's anywhere, anytime. And the other thing is, if you're holding seats, for some reason you can't make it to that event, they will be your broker. They will sell the seats for you because it's a pain in the ass to try to list them yourself or go find a friend that wants your tickets or whatever. And then that buddy doesn't Venmo you. And by the time, you turn around, you're on a fight and you both got your shirts off in the driveway and, you're yelling about that $27 he owes you for that Kraken game that you couldn't go to. The point is, go to EpicSeats.com and let them sell the seats for you. And if you mention us, they will give you an extra $12 per seat when you sell it. Is that crazy?
Crazy.
That's a crazy deal, everybody. If you have seats you can't use and you want to sell them, get $12 per seat on top of whatever you're selling it for. Use EpicSeats.com. And we appreciate them sponsoring us. Should we go to the questions in the chat here? Things like that. Should we open it up?
Waiting on you, kid.
It's a wild world out there on the internet. Are you ready to dive into
Let's
it?
do it.
Okay. The first question here, Lofa. What happened to Luke?
Who?
We already talked about that, man.
He ghosted us.
Hey, get here on time. We talked about that at the beginning of the episode.
Did we pin that comment too?
Next question. What happened to Luke? Listen. I'm not talking about Luke. I love Luke. He's not here. He's got too many other things to do. How about Devon Witherspoon? That's a great question. Number 21, Spoon, the Spoon Man. He's out there. What's going on?
I mean, there's not enough praise to heap on Devon Witherspoon. He is who we thought he was. That's why I took him 5th overall, man. There's nothing this kid can't do. I've never seen, well, I wouldn't say never. I haven't seen many play on the island, which means outside, go inside at nickel, blitz. Just man, zone, everything he does well, and instinctually one of the best I've ever seen. I draw the comparison to Rondé Barber. Yes, Hall of Famer Rondé Barber.
Wow. He had a play today. He came off the corner or off the edge, whatever, you see him creeping up, and I was tapping Mike. I go, he's coming. There he goes. and he goes in off the edge, and not only did he almost get there, but he just jumps at the last moment, knocks the ball down, made the play all by himself. Basically just him and the quarterback, even though there was everybody else out there. It was awesome.
And he just brings the funk too, like
The attitude.
no, the hit, man, the power.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's got swagger for days.
Yeah.
But I mean, man, fools out.
Yeah. He couldn't today, though, or yesterday. They don't let him do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you have to like literally save him from himself. Like,
Is anyone allowed to tackle at practice anymore?
I mean, you could run and hit, and if you knock them over, like they fall down,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not on you. That's what we call thud tempo. So, like, we're going to hit, and the good hitters bring the hips, right, run through, and if they fall down, you know, that's hey, it's part of the business, right? But you're not supposed to wrap and like try to throw someone down or grab a jersey.
But what about in your day?
I just told you.
It was full tackle?
No, you run through, and if they fall down, shit happens.
Oh, you're saying that was then, too?
Step into my office, bro.
I don't know. I was lost on the term thud tackle.
Yeah.
I just couldn't stop thinking about that.
Tempo.
Thud tempo. Sorry. Thank you. Producer Kay.
At least someone's listening.
Someone's listening to the show.
And our lovely viewers. I love you guys, too. This guy's tough.
2-a-days back then?
Yeah, and sometimes a special teams practice. So not really 3-a-days. Like some people are like, oh, we got 3. It was 2.5, 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, because like the afternoon practice. So you would full pads in the morning, and then meetings, lunch, whatever, a little like maybe an hour off, and then you go just shells, like uppers, helmet, and shoulder pads, and then dinner, and then you'd have like a walkthrough. It was more than a walkthrough. We were running out there. Special teams practice for like half hour, 45 minutes.
Different time.
Yeah. So would love to say the good old days, but this is not one of those situations where I'm going to say the good old days.
Right.
Just the old days.
It was the old days. Things were just done differently.
Yeah.
Right.
Wild.
But they were running them hard yesterday and today. I mean, in terms of time. Because we've been out at other training camps in years past. I mean, you know, it wasn't as long of a practice.
No, it's never. that
No.
long. Like, and especially with like performance teams these days, in terms of like the teams they have within the organization
Right.
to like, you know, log like the steps you take and, you know, calories you burn. Like they have all that data these days, right? To even down to like sleep to try to get these guys to, it's all about performance. And so, yeah, like I said, I was like, man, this is wild. Like these guys are out here like 3 hours, and like I can't reiterate it enough. Like the toughness of like, you don't know when it's gonna end.
Yeah.
And like he's called some short. They said, we talked to a couple people. They said, yeah, well, no, he's called some like we're scheduled for 3, but going into it, like mentally, they're like prepared. Like, okay, we're gonna be out here for 3 hours.
Right.
And like, you know, set your mind to like.
But is that
let's
just
fucking go.
because it's a change in regime and it's new and so there's a message being sent? Or is that sustainable and is that the way he'll coach even in year 7?
Yeah, philosophy.
It's just the
a
whole
lot
thing.
of it goes down to philosophy and what he's trying to, you know, strategically what he's trying to employ. Like,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is how we do things. This is how we operate. And
What's it like when a new coach comes in and a new system comes in? Because you've been through some changes.
yeah, man,
What's that like?
it's a lot. You have to be present moment and get on the same page or you're gone. Like that's simply put, that's just the way it is. And so with the playbook, the terminology, everything changes. Could even be schedule changes you have to adapt to. So like, but I mean, that's everything. Adapt or die, bro.
No, I feel you. It's interesting. How many different changes you went through?
Well, I had Holmgren
to-
but then I had Ray Bob had a medical issue, so he had to go from our D coordinator to, and then John Marshall stepped in.
Right, because it's not just head coach.
Yeah,
it's
no, even just
every
yeah.
year is
But
just
luckily,
turnover,
the playbook stayed the same, the terminology, and that's why we were able to, you know, keep having success there. But then Moore came in for a year, and you know, a lot of coaches left. You know, so it's just, and then Pete came in, and like, not just coaches, but like, there was the most roster transactions.
Yeah, it's 200
So,
plus.
yeah,
right?
and there was like a different guy at the locker next to you every other week. Like there was guys that came in, and we ran something that not many other people were around, kind of like a hybrid type 3-4-4-3. And so, like, we were just getting it down, but there would be players coming in, and they're like, hey, starting this week. I was like, oh, shit. I mean, I'll tell you everything you need to do, but you still got to do it. Like, that's tough duties. But you only get one chance. And everybody
One
sees that.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Sees everything you ever wanted.
Yeah. Mom's spaghetti.
Never let it slip. Man, no, it's wild. I mean, that's what strikes me the most in the opportunities that I've got. Lucky opportunities. Thank everyone for giving it to me. The chance to go stand there at these practices year after year, be there today, to see these guys that because the roster's bigger, it's going to get whittled down. We all know that. But and I think that's what I was speaking to with these one-on-one opportunities. No matter how maybe silly it is for the players, but you do get these one opportunities, and that's true for everyone out there in life, no matter what you're doing. Sometimes it really does come down to that one moment. All joking aside, all Eminem references aside, and I think that's as fans that's what draws us to, especially this time of year, every single year, because we're watching these guys try to live out their dream moment to moment, and it's so compelling as a fan.
Yeah, I didn't think it was stressful because I was confident in what I was doing.
Right.
This was all I envisioned growing up. But I've talked to a lot of teammates, and they had different views on, the NFL and how stressful it was. But I was like, well, if I get cut here, I'll go somewhere else. Like that's just how I thought. Like, I don't know. Ignorance is bliss, I guess. But yeah. I was delusionally confident about my ability to just have value and help a team regardless. And so, but yeah, man, you got to go for it. But more so than going for it, do what you're told to do, like what you're coached to do. And if it doesn't work, a good coach will take the blame in terms of like, okay, well, this is how we coached it and it didn't work. Like, but if you go rogue, shit, your days are numbered, bro. Like, I got a better idea and I'm going for a play, and then like it doesn't work out, that is the worst thing you can do.
And especially in a regime change, especially when they're coming in trying to institute their way of doing things.
Don't do that. Do anything else.
They're probably
but
not
that.
be good times. Yeah. Mike, what do you got over there? You've been seeing something. Yell something out over there. What do you got? From the people, it's going too fast for me to read. To be,
I can't even keep up with it either.
You.
I see
our first time looking at
some amazing comments. I love you all.
I know.
This is.
I'm having to turn my head and talk to Lofa, and I feel like I turn back and I miss all the comments.
I'm seeing it because you're hosting, but Stewart-ass, you're hilarious.
We'll start picking some out then.
Oh,
go for it.
Someone said Loaf doesn't remember because who would ever fight that guy? And then what? Yosemite Sam shoots first, asks questions later. That's Stewart-S again.
Yeah, Stewart-S is crushing the comments over there.
Beast.
Yeah. No one would ever fight
Kevin O'Connell, Big Patty Daddy.
There you go.
I think that's Patty O'Connell's new nickname.
Big Patty Daddy. Okay. I'm in on that.
Yeah.
That's good. Mike, what do you got? Anything? What? What'd you just... What? Don't let KJ sway you. He left the show to duck me. Oh. Beef. I think we're going to have to deal with old beef.
Oh, damn. I thought that was a comment.
Here on the show.
Big Patty Daddy?
Big Patty Daddy putting $2 in the chat.
Savage.
That's how you get to the front of the line, everybody, there.
Hey.
Big Patty
didn't
Daddy.
sway me.
Okay, so.
I'm hip to the game.
Yeah. What do you think about that, KJ?
Excited for the show. Hey, we appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. Hey, quick word about KJ, too. I mean, we had our episode. It's out on YouTube. You guys can find it where KJ sort of passed the torch to us. And big shout out to KJ for doing that and for being a friend.
KJG and Big Mike.
Crushing it the whole time here and all that stuff. And, just wish him all the best with him and the Niners there, even though we don't wish him the best when our teams match up maybe. But
I didn't say all that. I love KJ. Yeah, you said that.
Well,
your words, not mine.
I wish him the best in his career there. That's all I'm saying.
He's going to be
not for his team.
He's going to be a phenomenal coach.
Yeah. I hope that all of the players don't do it very good except for the position he's coaching. You know what I'm saying?
I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They take off, but everybody else is not good, and the Seahawks win the division anyway. But he is seen for the things that he has done and contributed. That would be great.
Absolutely. And for those of you that haven't seen the episode yet but are joining us live, we appreciate you. And one of the things I just have to point out is KJ Wright, beyond being an unbelievable human being, he's the only linebacker that could play all three positions at a Pro Bowl level. And I've seen a lot of them that can play all three positions very well even, but at a Pro Bowl level. And you have no idea. It's so hard to play one position at a Pro Bowl level. Never mind three. You have to be physically gifted to play all three. Like, yeah, I know what to do at Sam, Mike, and Will. I can only play Mike and Will. I would have got my ass kicked at Sam. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But KJ, like 1 week's notice, jumps down, plays Sam, has a sack or two, like just critical play that wins us the game. And, you know, that's rare.
Yeah.
And I just want to say KJ Wright is a rare human being.
Well, you know those friends that you have where they're like good at everything and it's annoying?
We don't have to talk about me, Brett.
You know what I mean? She's like, why are they good at golf too?
Oh, you're definitely not talking about me.
In a long drive contest, I am.
Oh, yeah, me today. Yeah.
Come on.
We got
put one
that
out
all
there.
day. We got that all day.
All day, baby. All day. Here we go. Here's another question. How are you guys feeling about all the low record projections for the season? So, yeah, we could way too early predict the schedule as well. It's far too early, I think, to go wins and losses. I think we'll do that on a future episode. But people are sleeping on this team.
Good.
I think they are.
Good.
I think the national media is sleeping on this team. I think that. Sarah.
I was going to.
Sarah.
Don't worry.
Sarah Kimberly.
I had you.
With the question.
Yeah.
Producer Mike, quick to tell us, shout out the person's name. You're absolutely right. Sarah with an H. Thank you for putting the question in there. I think it's only natural that people are predicting, you know, the record that they're predicting. It's a new coach. It's a new system. There's always some bumps and bruises that go along with that, no matter who the team is, no matter who the players are. And so it's only natural, I think, that people are doing that. However, and I know I've only been at 2 practices and I'm a massive Seahawk homer, so of course I'm biased. However, I try to put my objective hat on, and Mike and I were talking about this. You and I have been talking about this. When you go through position by position and you look at it on paper, this team has talent to do some things this season, no matter what is going on with the change and everything. I think. I mean, they have the Jimmies and the Joes.
Talent only gets you so far.
Okay.
And I'm not talking scheme, but can they come together?
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I saw, NFL Network, they sat down with not only Leonard, like I said earlier, but sat down with the big guy, McDonald, and she said, can you give me one word that you could pick for this team going forward? He's like, what do you want them to be? And he said, together. And so, and I think if that happens, we've had talent, but have we always had the chemistry? No, that's where this is built, you know, and then the belief of winning, right? And so, But Sarah Kimberly, how do I feel about the low record projections? To answer your question, I really don't feel at all, because it's, you know, has anybody ever got those right? That's my first question. I'm sorry to answer you with a question, but this is just the way my brain operates.
Oh, you don't have to apologize.
Yeah. But no, I'm not worried about it. No one ever really knows what they have. And it's funny because I've seen teams start out rough and then make it all the way to the Super Bowl. I've seen teams start out fast and then die out, right? You know, right at the bye week or their halfway mark, right? And a lot of that has to do with top to bottom, right? Is there buy-in? Does everybody believe? And so my first year here, we started 2-2, right? And like, you know, all the reports and everything, like, oh, same old Seahawks.
First
right?
game against Jacksonville?
First game against Jacksonville.
I called KJR.
Did you?
After the game.
And complained?
This is for real. I was on the air.
What'd you say about us?
I was complaining that Holmgren took timeouts into halftime. Because before half,
okay.
there was a chance to score, I think, or something. And
Well, we were
are you going to remember this right now? Off the top of your head,
absolutely.
really?
Yeah, there
Wow.
was. There
That's
was.
incredible.
However, we still had a 14-10. Katie, I need you to fact check this. I think we had a 14-10 lead going in. It's either 14 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe. And we turned the ball over 5 times. Defense couldn't stop anything on third down. So when you look at it after the fact, it's like, and we lost 26-14. We definitely lost 26-14. I remember that.
I was very disappointed.
That was the first loss I had in 2 years. Because I had a good cry.
That wasn't
Not afraid to say it.
Not as a Seahawks fan. That was not our first loss in 2 years.
It was,
We'd been through a lot of them.
it was mine. And that was tough, right?
Yeah.
And, but, yeah, it's just, so 2-2, and then we hit an 11 or 12 game winning streak,
Yeah.
right? And then we ended up going through the playoffs to the Super Bowl. So it's just, I don't put much stock into it. I don't even really put much stock into the first 4 weeks because you don't, like I said, some people are riding the emotional highs of a win or starting out 4-0. And then you see them not get complacent, but maybe they played 4 horrible teams that are going to be even worse when the season standings are done, So, Sarah Kimberly, and a long-winded question, which I shared some of my trauma, and I hope you appreciate it. I don't put much stock into it.
Okay. Wait, Mike got rid of it, but there was something I was trying to. Hold on, put that back up there. Is that good?
Oh, what? You want
What?
that smoke?
Oh, did somebody?
What?
Oh, great podcast. Oh, John, our buddy John. Look at that.
Look at Johnny.
John's great podcast, guys, but the only thing missing are 2 guys smoking cigars. Yeah, John saw the ashtray here.
He very astutely pointed out.
So, now this is a cigar. What do you have?
Okay, so
This is what they call a cigar.
Brett.
Well, this is a
Absolute
that's
missile.
a nuke right there.
is that?
That's what they got.
You got a Don Pepin Garcia.
Yeah,
Very nice.
only the greatest. For me.
I went with I don't know if it's vintage. It feels a little dry, but a Jazz Black and Mild. 2024.
Oh man. Oh, there's some people out there who are with you, and then there's other people that are definitely not.
Those are the savages, and I love you.
Okay. You like the plastic tip on there? That's what does it for you?
I don't know. Just give me the lighter.
All right. Yes, we have some cigars here. We might as well get to those.
Right.
Somebody's asking about Tyrese Knight or Tyrese.
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 Come on, bro.
I feel like every time I say his name, you correct me no matter how I say it. I'm not kidding. I feel like I said it on take 12 1,000 times. And there's 1,000 different ways to say it.
Because you always say Tyrese. And yes,
But it's Tyrese.
It's spelled Tyrese, right?
Uh-huh.
So you're not even saying it right there.
Look at,
Well, he's
look
not
at
even
this,
saying-
by the way. Sorry, Mom.
But no, I'll tell you what, I loved his film in college. His story is unbelievable. Talk about, you want to turn that off, bud? Okay.
I set it down first.
Don't light the place on fire. Story's unbelievable. Just gutsy, gritty story of just overcoming adversity. College community, all conference, UTEP, all conference, led the entire NCAA in tackles, a lot of big plays. His game translates well, and it's what McDonald generally looks for, at least the pattern I'm seeing in terms of who he had at Baltimore and then who he has here of one of his guys. So I'm excited to see him. He is a lot bigger than I thought he was, because on film, he was just so fast. Maybe he was just so fast that I didn't think he was that big. He's way bigger than me.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a big dude. He's tall.
Huge.
Huge. Yeah, no, he looks good out there. And like I said today, he was actually running around out there quite a bit, if you know what I mean. I was kind of looking through the sort of new additions to the Seahawks here. I've got a list. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I see a comment. Wait. Who is this Brett guy? What's his last name? All right. I'm Brett Davern. Davern with a D. Edmonds, Washington, born and raised. Left home to become a movie star, and now I'm back to talk Seahawks.
Mad respect.
Yeah.
To mad respect.
No, all brashness aside, I was on a show called Awkward on MTV for quite a while. Been a beach boy before, film and TV, all that stuff. But I was a Seahawks fan my whole life and met Lofa, what, 4 or 5 seasons ago?
Yeah.
And we started doing Take 12 together.
Yeah.
And then here we are. Yeah.
Mad respect. Brett's still awkward. Great question, though.
Thanks for checking in. Yeah. Ronald Cornelius. Didn't know that? What a name.
Yeah.
That is a regal name right there.
It's distinguished like my
What
man.
is
You guys
y'all's-
can't see him, but this guy back here got a suit on and everything. Sounds like a Ronald. Looks like a Ronald Cornelius.
The third.
Okay. The third.
There's a lot of the thirds and the seconds on the Seahawks right now. It's very
Favorite
very
and
regal.
least favorite play of all time.
Okay.
Ooh.
Favorite play of all time, hands down, by far for me is. Were you gonna answer first?
No, I was waiting to hear your answer.
Okay. My favorite play of all time has to be. Oh, it's kind of hard. It's Beastquake. It's Beastquake. It's Beastquake. It's Beastquake. Let's be honest. It's the Beastquake.
That's pretty awesome.
There's a couple though that rattle around in my head, but if I had to just pick one,
Yeah. It has to be, right?
it has to be.
And I mean, that was, well, I didn't actually see the play, but it was the last play I ever heard. It was Quest at the time.
To give him the story.
Oh, yeah, I got knocked stupid and woke up in hospital. But they took my helmet as I was looking for the helmet after the earthquake happened, the beastquake happened. And the doc was like, "You're not going back out there." And he didn't tell me for obvious reasons. He just said, "You're not going back out there." And I go, "Well, what just happened?" Because I didn't know.
Wait, what? Well, what play knocked you, quote unquote, stupid?
like-
to use your words,
like-
what happened?
There was 3 of them. And so, anyways, back to the story. I look at the doc. He was like, "I think Marshawn just won us the game." And I was like, "That sounds pretty cool." So, yeah, Beastquake, legendary. A runner-up, I mean, I feel like it had to either be the safety at the Super Bowl, right?
Okay, the first play, yeah.
Like, that's pretty iconic.
To just let you know you're on
Right.
your way. That was awesome.
Cliff Averill,
What a
fastest,
pressure reliever.
fastest points scored ever.
You've been
And
waiting your whole life for your team to get to the Super Bowl or get back to the Super Bowl, sorry. And then the first play, you're just like, oh, we're spotted 2 points.
Or Percy coming out the half, just taking it to the house, right? Ball
was
bounces, he just chew.
That was nice.
And then, like, I mean, you just saw the energy just kind of just go off the sideline on one side and the other side just roar, right?
Yeah.
So I was definitely a favorite, and I think the least favorite's pretty obvious.
How about the Romo play? Going back to your day.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was a sweet play.
That was.
That was my favorite play before my favorite play.
Was it?
Yeah.
You didn't like the third down stop right before it?
I knew you'd bring it up. You guys, if you're in love with the Tony Romo play, go see the play before it because it doesn't happen without 51 over here. That was a great play. How about now? I know that the season obviously didn't end up the way that we all wanted it to, but how about the NFC Championship game versus the Packers? I mean, you could take your pick in that game. You got the fake. The fake
Johnny
with
Ryan?
Johnny Ryan. You got Jermaine Kearse finally paying it off at the end.
Johnny Ryan, the inventor of the no-look pass. The still shot on that is amazing.
That was a sweet one.
Yeah. And then, Russ to Kearse, that was after the game that really they both had, a couple drops by Kearse, and he's even come on the pod before and talked about it.
Talk about that, yeah.
And he's one of the most clutch in the history of the Hawks.
Super
right?
clutch. He was clutch for the Huskies.
Yeah.
He's clutch. He's a clutch guy. I think for me, if we were going to talk about least favorite plays of all time, I don't even know if I need to go any further than talking about the Seahawks being a couple yards away from going back to back, and I think I'll just leave it right there. That was quite possibly one of the worst moments of my entire life, if I'm just being honest. Like, at least, I mean, especially as a sports fan, I mean, I was at home and I fell to my knees immediately and screamed out in primal rage, and the party was over immediately. I had Seahawks fan friends over, and it just, we were all watching together, and it just, the room emptied immediately. And honestly, sometimes I stand alone and think about that play.
Yeah, Brett talks about it a lot, so Next question.
It's hard to think
Appreciate
about.
you, Ronald Cornelius.
What was your least favorite play, though? Other than that.
Other than that,
I mean, because that is the one.
yeah. So
Yeah.
what was that? Okay, Ronnie.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Good idea. Go ahead, you read this one.
What you've seen with Mike McDonald and new coaching staff at practice? What's your biggest difference you've seen with the approach with the players since Pete and the previous stat? Good question. Just from my observation, just there's been a lot more teaching, like in terms of slower tempo and pace and making sure guys get it. And Pete was very like, I want you to go, go, go. So they both developed the toughness of their teams and the identity that are I think when you see McDonald, you'll see a lot of similarities in the way they attack and the way they mix it up. But I feel like it's been slowed down. And I've only been to one practice, but reading everything and then Brett going to practice. I'm sure today was a little quicker up tempo, but what I saw was more teachable moments and guys getting pulled aside to, hey, like, this is why we're doing this. And like, you always got to lead with the why, make sure they understand why they're doing something. And so you get that buy-in right away. And Pete was just high energy. Like, I bet you the fans, when Pete was coaching and fans were going, they were drained from expending so much energy cheering, because I also noticed the fans were into it yesterday. But like, I remember whether I was practicing or coaching for Pete, like the fans were every big player. Like it was a game like atmosphere.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's a like after big plays, there's a cheer. But the whole time there's kind of a like mood I can feel from the fans that are just sort of a watch and see kind of vibe.
I need the lighter, man. I'm
sorry.
sorry. Yeah,
We're ready to go. Here you go.
I'm with you. I
Yeah.
believe you. I trust you.
Yeah. It's like it's a quiet sort of not like apprehension, but like there's definitely an optimism, but it's just kind of tempered a little bit, as it should be. We'll see what happens as they move through this thing. Next question here, Daddy Dennis, elephant in the room question: would Lofa ever take a coaching job and leave all day? No, for the Niners.
Whoa.
No. Would you ever take a coaching job with the Niners, Lofa Tutupu?
How much they paying?
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
That's fair. That's fair.
With all due respect, Dennis, I'm not gonna call anybody. Yeah. Yeah. But my dream would never to be a head coach as much as I love coaching. I always enjoy the scouting and finding value, like as opposed to talent, right? Any talent jumps off the film. So the evaluation process, I fell in love with that and I still do it. And, it's hard to find value, right? Does everybody really know what they're looking for, whether it's scheme or just system, but I always wanted to be a GM. So to answer your question, no, as a coach, maybe as a GM. Maybe. Hey, I'm be honest. I'm not going to lie to you.
Listen, in our time on Take 12, in the years that we've been doing it, you've been talking scouting. You've been talking about guys who you would talk about guys that you would talk about, and then nothing would happen with them Seahawk-wise, and then we'd watch them doing things in the league, and it was like, dang, you're right. So GM, scouting-wise, player sort of assessment,
I know what I'm looking
analysis.
for.
You definitely
I know what I'm looking for. I know what wins.
Well, so then that leads perfectly to Stuart S.'s question here. Do you think Walker could turn into a player like Austin Eckler, as dangerous receiving as running?
Absolutely. Just quite frankly, to answer that question, when I was consulting, we used him in empty formations. Empty, Brett, is when there's nobody in the backfield. That's why they call it empty.
Oh, that's because there's no one there.
Yeah.
There's just nice and quiet back there.
Spread everybody out. All 5 eligible are out. And we would put him outside against, the number 1, right? And a lot of times teams do that just to see if a corner's lined up. Okay, you got zone. If a linebacker or safety's lined up, you got man. From there, a quarterback has all the information he needs, but man, Walker got routes, he got speed, agility, quickness, and hands. And so it was really impressive to see him. And I'd never seen him in that capacity. Like when I was watching his film at Wake Forest and Michigan State, it was just runs, like 70, 80-yard runs. Cool. Like, that's awesome, you know, but that's a serious weapon. Like, he's got a skill set that can be not developed but used in that capacity.
Yeah, they had him catching passes. I mean, or, you know, they throw him a pass, they go out in a pattern. I think his first season in the league, rookie year, I'm recalling definitely some one-handed catches and some, you know, I mean, he's a receiver as well as a runner, I think. I think also for me, it's number 25, Kenny McIntosh. Remember when they drafted that guy? It was supposed to be, you know, one of the late round picks that was, this is the Seahawks did it again. They got someone in the late round, and then I think some injuries and some health stuff got in the way. But if he's healthy this season, that's another guy that's just an absolute weapon. I mean, he was at Georgia, especially on third down, things like that. So, yeah. Axel, IMTG, how often will shows be?
How often do you want him, Axel, at IMTG?
That's a good question. We will definitely be going live after Seahawks games the same way they did all last season with all day. So after the final NFL games of that day are over, so if the Seahawks play a Monday night game and it's the only game that night, then we'll go live after the game. But if it's a Sunday, let's say they play a 10 a.m. game, well, we'll be going live after the night game is over. So, you know, you guys, you savages out there, watch football all day long, as Lofa would say. You savages. Watch football all day long, you know, enjoy it, do whatever you're going to do, mow the lawn, all that good stuff on Sundays. But we will be here to talk football live after that. And then we will also be doing some film breakdown. You'll be doing some film breakdown this year, right?
I can't wait for that.
Some analyst type stuff, grabbing the clicker.
Right, yeah.
Well, watching film and studying film and know what to do and seeing the game in the way that you see the game is originally why I was so excited to partner with you. Not just your glowing personality, but also your football expertise. But I think that's something I'm really looking forward to you getting into more of this year as we do all day.
As am I, Brett.
I know you are.
As am I.
I know you are.
And thankfully, we've joined all day with Big Mike. So shout out to Big Mike.
I'm out again. And then we will also be hitting you guys with a preview episode, like whatever's whoever they're playing this upcoming week. We'll try to get an expert from that team or a former pro from that team and chop it up with them, but also just look ahead to the matchup. So all kinds of content coming from all day, all season long. And then anytime we can grab an exclusive or a great interview with a former Hawk or former guest that we've had before, we'll be bringing you those features as well. Just throughout the year. So just stay tuned to the All Day YouTube channel and the All Day Instagram and Twitter. Are we on Twitter? Is that a thing?
We will be.
Okay. So check it out over there.
You know it's coming.
Okay. Here we go. There's another question. You want to go for it?
You got it.
Okay. Koi Matai? I'm trying. Okay.
What's up?
Love you, Unk. No, wait.
Love
what?
y'all, oos.
Oh, sorry. I can't read anymore. You read it for me. Proud of you.
Love y'all, oos. Samoa is proud of you, Uso.
There you go.
Hey, much love, brother. I appreciate you stopping by. And, yeah, man, stay tuned. We got more for you.
I'm going to chew ice right into everybody's ears. Sorry for that. We got these headsets on today because we didn't quite know the setup, and I gotta be honest, we look like we're on the Ocho.
I feel like I'm back in the booth, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
As a coach?
Game day, yeah, as a coach.
How was that?
That was stressful.
There
that
you
was more
go.
stressful than playing.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
This question comes in from Brett Davern. What happens on the headset during the game for real?
It's absolute shit show. Just comedy. Like, I mean, it's organized chaos. Like, I'm not gonna say like, you know, I was like, yeah, it's not a lot of yelling. It's just like, my favorite. What I really missed was like, so you can toggle back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And so the head man, Pete, you know, you can go back and forth to go to offense, go to defense.
Okay.
Right? So sometimes he'd still be on defense, and he'd be like, "Hey, Tater, can you give me the stats on third and," you know, like he wanted real time,
right?
And like, you know, everyone hears him. He's like, still on defense, coach. He's like, oh, thanks. But he'd like flip, and it would just go right back to us. And he's like, Tater, defense coach. So then he would flip. Yeah, he's like, all right. And then he'd finally, third time is a charm. And but it was just comedy because like that's kind of an interesting thing you bring up because that's what like McDonald's going to run the defense, right? And so I wonder how much input he's going to have when he's trying to. You have to have the overall perspective of the flow of the game. As a head coach, you're involved both offense, defense, checking in with them, and so interested to see how that goes because he's still going to call the defense, from my understanding, and I think eventually he'll probably hand it off to Dirty, but and I'm not worried about Mike calling a game. I'm just more interested to see how it goes because as a first-time head coach. Now you have to go back and forth. Like you can't be over there. I'm not gonna say you can't, right? Not with that attitude. But you can't be over there correcting every single position that you would as a deep corner. Like, hey, get on this. Hey, get on that. Like this is what he has to do. You have to delegate, and so it'll be interesting to see.
You're telling me that the offense and defensive channels on the headset are just like open channels?
A stone's throw away. Just a doop.
And just how many people are on that channel?
We had like 30. We had like 15.
That's insane.
There's like 7 or 8, and then there was like
crazy.
5 or 6. Oh, dude, it was whoever got that communications gig.
Is special teams its own channel?
They're killing it, right?
Special teams is the third channel?
Yeah, I think so. I think they were on a totally separate because you got to know, hey, who's up, who's down, like,
right?
Like, because then, Brian Schneider would jump on, and he's just like, yo, do I have so and so? No, coach. And then,
wow,
you just flick it right off before he said anything. It's just like it's real time, right?
Yeah.
And that's the crazy, the speed and like the things behind the scene that, our boy KJ is about to get, a taste of. Is just like. I never had any stress or nervousness walking into the national championship game when I was at USC, the Super Bowl when I was at Seattle. The first time I put the headset on and I had to watch the game through binoculars, and I had to call personnel. And so that's personnel is who's running on the field. And I know KJ's done a great job of, schooling you guys on that, like the 21, 2 backs, 1 tight end, 11, 1 back, 1 tight end, because that's how it is. And it all has to add up to 5. So if it's 1 back, 1 tight end, there's 3 other people out there, 3 eligible receivers, right? Stay with me, Brett.
I'm trying.
KJ's already explained them to that. I'm just more worried about you.
Okay, all right.
So
it all equals 5. I'm listening.
Yeah. So that was my responsibility. Every 20 seconds, I have to get it in before the headset shuts off. And so that to me was more stressful than being out there in any big game.
Yeah.
Because I felt like if I mess that up, well, I have no control over what happens out there. But when I was playing, I was like, oh, I don't care if they give me the wrong play. I'll make it the right play.
Right.
We all do our jobs. We make it the right play. And that's the power of when you have players that take ownership and just say, hey, we got your back. To the coaches.
Yeah. Daddy Dennis is at it again. He goes, I think he's talking about your scouting. He goes, I bet Lofa would not have passed on Mahomes. Who would have passed on Mahomes? What?
Dennis.
What?
You know what? Interesting. I see now. I need to know who's available in that draft. So I can't say I wouldn't have. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I've never missed. I'm not. Quarterback is the hardest to project. Skill set. They can all throw. How are they going to deal with when they go through their first losing season, right? So some of these guys, they haven't lost all through high school. They didn't lose through college. And, how do they react when and so, we looked at Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he lost a game until he got to the national championship his second year. He went undefeated, 4 state championships in high school. He won his first, national championship as a freshman. And so then he lost his first national championship, I think, a year or 2 later. But then he goes to Jaguars. And when you're picked first overall or however high that is, you are the franchise. You're the face. And so this is I would hate to see a kid go through adversity at the highest level, right? And I'm not going to say all those wins were easy, but you haven't lost. You haven't tasted defeat. How do you know how you're going to respond? That's my question to a lot of these guys. And so, like, Bryce Young really impressed me. Bryce Young, right, went through, I think it was Modern Day. His history is unbelievable there, and all the state championships. Then he goes to Bama, wins the Heisman, right? Then he goes to Carolina, and they really didn't give him much help. And so, you know, I was impressed. I was actually shocked that they didn't play Dalton, who they paid, right, to be a high-paid backup, and he's got a lot of experience, playoff, everything. You throw Young to the Wolves, and, you know, he stood in there tall, tough, and just, like, you know, kept answering. And so I think he's going to be fine, you know. I know after 1 year, it was like, oh, how could you take him over Stroud? Like, dude, you don't know what you have until 3 or 4 years, right? Yeah. But so, yeah, quarterback's tough. It's a tough position to scout. Like, I really would go more to, you know, the makeup of the individual, the grit. It's why I've always believed in Baker Mayfield, and I took shit for years having his back, you know. But look at him now. And, you know, he's gone through it. But the adversity he faced, he went to Texas Tech. He was balling, right? Got hurt. They bench him. He goes to Oklahoma, wins the Heisman, gets drafted, goes to Cleveland, and just, you know, Cleveland's got the list of quarterbacks that haven't made it, right? They're like 30 before, but now Baker just gets paid. So it's like Baker's been through adversity, so I wasn't worried about him bouncing back.
Well, let's then put on your scouting hat here, because I was saying I made a list of all these new Seahawks, and you know, I mean, this is our first show of the year. Everybody's got to get to know these guys. Let me get to the notes here. We talked about Byron Murphy. I think I've talked about him, and I mean, we're gonna be talking about him all year. Christian Haynes at guard, Tyrus Knight at linebacker. I mean, stop me when you want to just break down some film or scout these guys a little bit.
Yeah, well, Haynes, I mean, UConn, love everything they showed on draft day. And, you know, all the reports from people in that building that I know and love and have worked for and with, they're like, hey, Haynes is a dog.
Okay.
Right? So I can't wait to see him play.
Okay. AJ Barner, we talked about him. I mentioned the name, but he's running around out there and catching everything. We were at practice yesterday. There was a catch on the sidelines. He just absolutely laid out for it, kept his feet in bounds. They got the NFL refs there, and they're calling it a catch. So I mean, it was a catch, and I mean he just looks like the real deal.
Yeah, big athletic dude. Was mainly used for blocking in college. He caught one behind him. It was thrown horribly behind him, and had the wherewithal to shut it down because it was zone coverage. Zone coverage, find the holes, right? Man coverage, you keep running. Run by that guy. Shut it down, reach back, caught it, got the first down. Impressive. And so, yeah, that tight end room, man, it's tough.
Yeah, that's a stacked room.
Yeah.
How many tight ends do they usually come out of camp with?
At least 3.
Okay.
And then if
so there's 4 that we like out there that we saw running around at practice. So
yeah, tough decision going to be made. Yeah.
On offense, they got the weapons.
Yeah.
At the skill positions, some tough decisions to be made, even at wide receiver. We were talking about today. I mean, how many do you usually break camp with? 5, 6, maybe 6?
It depends on special teams. It always comes down to special teams.
Okay.
Like, and like that's what a lot of kids, like when they're in camp first time, they're like, oh, special teams, I never played special teams, like I'm just gonna, I'm gonna catch 1,000 or 100 balls and get 1,000 yards, and like, well, no, we got 2 guys that already do that. Like get with the program, understand where you are and who's ahead of you.
Well, there's 3 guys on this team. I mean, you got DK, Tyler, JSN. And then after that, I mean, if you're looking at how many you keep versus how many you got there, you got, like I talked about D. Chenault. That's 5 right there.
Chenault's
then you got Bobo. You got Young.
Chenault's special because he can play. He's played some running back too and looked damn good.
He's bigger than I thought he was too.
Yeah.
Kind of like just, solid.
And he's tough.
Yeah.
I watched him. They moved him to running back for like 1 game in Jacksonville, and he was tearing people up. I was like, damn, like, who is this guy? Like that's a weapon you can put out wide, bring in the backfield, and then now that's a matchup problem for the defense. If you're on defense, like when they send the person out there, like, oh shit, there's like we would have special packages in terms of a defense. Like, oh, here we go. Like,
Yeah. Well, he's on the list of new names as far as free agent acquisitions. You got Rayshawn Jenkins. We talked about him at safety briefly, but I mean, if we're talking about scouting and you sort of talking about these guys a little bit, you kind of talked about physicality and what he brings, but you like him a lot.
Every single one of the additions, physical, how I describe 'em, physical and no weakness, which is better than anybody having just one true strength, right? They're versatile and they just. If you don't have a weakness, like how are you going to attack them? Like they're prepared for all situations.
Okay. George Fant. Back.
Love
back
it.
The tackle, George Fant, number 74.
Yeah. What a great story.
Got a chance to talk to him at practice yesterday. Just a super nice dude also.
But can turn it on when he gets, and like I think it was Western Kentucky basketball player. Even made the tournament. Like, dude's a beast. And so like that's like, most of those guys come over as a tight end, and they're like, no, we're going to add about 20, 30 pounds. And he was always he had the big frame, and he had the frame to put weight on. But I was like, okay, but is the toughness going to be there? Well, that worry for me was gone after the first padded practice. I mean, someone, I'm not going to say who, tried to mix it up, and the room. And I was like, okay, George. And I was trying to piss off one of my boys.
That's interesting. He was real quick to protect someone out on the field, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, love all my brothers.
Okay. Fascinating. Any of you guys out at the stadium today? Linebacker Dodson.
Easy gossip, girls.
Dodson coming over there.
Huh?
Dodson, linebacker, yeah.
This is a guy he got significant playing time last year in Buffalo, and he looks the part, and when I watched him practice, even though we didn't have pads on, he was quick to diagnose. There's a cutback, and he was pissed. Like, he was like, nah, in the backed up, the mystery situation, he was like, nah, he was down at the 2. And, like, I was like, from our vantage point, I was like, I don't know. And then they put it up on the board. They got these review boards. And so they showed it. I was like, oh, he was right. And then, like, the ref moved the ball back from 4 yards to 2 yards. And now it was 2nd and 8. And I was like, okay, that's also a smart, very, very intelligent, football IQ, too. But then the attitude to challenge the ref, like, without overstepping the line. But he was giving it to the ref. He's like, move that shit back.
Well, you got Jonathan Hankins, who we talked to yesterday after practice. Just super, super good dude. Appreciate him coming over and spending some time with us. But also impressive guy. I mean, in the league over a decade,
Dude,
which is
12 years in the trenches.
Ridiculous.
12 years in the 12 years period is unbelievable. In the trenches, where like, man,
just adding depth in the middle of the D line. 6'2", 320. I asked him what kind of player we're getting in him, and he took a beat, and then he goes, "Run stopper."
Stuff. Yeah,
Just sign me up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that something you're interested in?
Yup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great dude too, but just the wisdom he's imparting to these young guys, right? Especially Murphy and all these other guys, and it's a great room right there. And 12 years, dude. I played 6, and I feel like I'm 80. Like, my question to him was like, dude, how do you do it?
Yeah.
that's all I asked him.
I don't know.
How do you do it, bro?
I don't know, but he's also coming in from the Cowboy system with Dirt.
Dirt.
So I mean, that's some cool synergy right there, and hopefully they keep this thing rolling.
Yeah. I've been calling Dirt out of respect, Dirt.
Oh,
but is Dirt Day? Is that like
I think it's
is
Dirt
it the
Day.
British? It is Dirt Day.
Okay.
It just reminds me of like Joe Dirte. I don't. I'm gonna stop.
You got producer Katie with that
I'm
one.
gonna stop talking.
I like that one. That's good. That's good. If you guys are listeners to Take 12 from the years past, you guys know that we were sponsored by Simply Seattle, which is obviously a local Seattle company doing it well here. What? Oh, you got some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my
cool,
segue.
Jay.
So
doing it well.
Here comes the bag. There's Simply Seattle, our favorite brand up here in Seattle. They got some great stuff. They got team apparel. They got non-team apparel. They got PNW stuff. They got Husky stuff, especially the Husky Big Ten stuff, everybody. The new, brand new UW Big Ten. The logo's all over it, and Simply Seattle's all over it. So go to simplyseattle.com. I think there's got to be a promo code. Maybe I'm just used to saying that, but either way, Simply Seattle
We'll figure
is
that
the
out
best.
for you.
And they're with us, and we're giving this stuff away. Is that right?
Yeah.
There's a contest tonight on the show, everybody. This is a beautiful royal blue kind of throwback. Is this a pocket on this
Pocket
thing?
tee.
That's a pocket tee right there with the beautiful embroidered Seahawk logo on there. This thing retails for $1 million. No, just kidding. Go to the Simply Seattle website. Also, this beautiful Kelly Green Seahawks hat. Are we giving all this stuff away as one?
No, not one package.
Okay.
Are you crazy?
Are we giving away as individual? What are we doing here?
I can't read this. I'm sorry, but it's the Pro Bowl edition. You can see it by the emblem. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot the Kingdom because they're not going to make that anymore.
Ooh,
remember?
yeah, the Seahawks with the Kingdom.
With the Kingdom on it?
There might be time might be limited to get the rest of those. And we were at Simply Seattle. We were back there in their, the greatest closet on earth. Let's be honest.
It was, an adult's Toys R Us.
They open up the door on that thing. They're like, hey, check this out. And it's just like, just Seattle memorabilia everywhere and the coolest stuff ever. But yeah, they were telling us, and the stack on the Kingdom stuff was running down. But this one's got the Pro Bowl logo on it. Pro Bowl 1990.
Yeah. See, you can't read it either.
Is that a 6?
I think it's a 9. Is it
a 9?
Yeah.
99?
We'll figure it out.
Either way, this thing's sweet. What do they got to do to win, Producer Katie?
Yeah, Producer Katie.
What do they got to do?
Producer Mike, help
Tell us
out.
in the chat that you guys want to win.
Oh, this one.
Is that what they need to do?
This one, yeah.
Mike?
Game worn. I wore it to a game.
Mike doesn't know either.
I wore it to a game. We'll figure it out.
Simply Seattle, everybody. Sorry.
What? We should give it away to those that ask the question.
There you go.
The first ones, right? Because they were the pioneers of this.
They'll put their name in the hat. You guys can't see it, but he left the lighter going over there.
Oh.
Simply Seattle, everybody. One of the cool things that we did last year with them, and they're a great sponsor, but we did a score prediction challenge. That thing is back for this year. It'll be for regular season games. Once those start up in about, what do we got, a month now. You guys go into our social media, predict the score of the upcoming Seahawks game. If you nail it, Simply Seattle will be sending you a gift card. I think we start at like $25, $50? We start at 50 though?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
We're in the big leagues now.
All right, so week 1 starts at $50. If someone nails it, you get the $50 gift card, and then week 2 starts back again at $50. If nobody wins in week 1, then week 2 is worth
100.
And if no one wins that, week 3 is worth 100.
Isn't it 150?
50. Yeah, it goes up by $50 every
You
single
aren't
week.
gonna get me on that one.
Compounding interest there, and it's a lot of fun because anyone can win any week, and you got to nail the score though. That's the thing, and you got to nail the score before game time. But all that comes in a month. So thank you to Simply Seattle for sponsoring us. You want to read the next question there?
Tyler Corns.
Mm-hmm. We got to give this stuff away though too.
Yeah, I thought we were still figuring that out.
Oh, okay.
Wearing a Coach Knox hat's coming back. King back is. I read the teleprompter like Ron Burgundy. All right, Brett, do you have an answer for that? I thought we saw them.
Well, the green one basically is the Chuck Knox hat, isn't it? It's just green.
No, it's Pro Bowl.
Right. Well, no, I know, but I'm saying the front of it
with the
so
they
got
the trucker hat.
They do have the trucker hat. They got the navy.
Yeah.
With the trucker hat and that print. They have it.
Okay.
Well,
so they're back, baby.
Oh, they're there.
Back, bro.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, go check them out.
They're there. They're Simply Seattle, yeah. And if they're not there, maybe we could stop by the closet and steal some and then give them away on the show.
If not, I'll make you a one-off, man.
Yeah. And I don't mean steal it. I mean,
yeah.
Well,
bro.
Let them give it to us. And then we give it away. So are we going to give those away, though, like just announce it later, or do we announce it tonight?
I think it's off the first few commenters.
We'll just go for the first, three people?
Yeah, first questions, or right? I feel like that's the right thing. What's the right thing to do, everybody?
Okay, we'll pick someone at random. We'll give it away. We'll let you guys know on social media who won. So we don't have to let them know right now. We'll let them know later. All right, we're going to go through all the comments. We'll let you guys know who won, and we'll tell you who won. And next time we'll be much more prepared for our giveaway. on the air. Yeah, what is the website for Simply Seattle? I think it's simplyseattle.com. I think it's just that easy. Yeah.
It's that simple.
Check them out, everybody. They got all your Seahawks gear, UW gear, WSU gear. I think they have like one shelf of that stuff over there. For those of you that are interested, I'm sorry, I'm a Husky fan.
But they do have the Washington PNW line too.
They do have
and
a
the
PNW line. They got
Simply.
Kraken stuff over there?
Oh yeah,
Yes, the Simply.
Simply.
Just Simply.
You guys, all the Sonics gear.
All the
Oh, yeah,
Sonics
yeah,
gear.
yeah.
The world's largest Sonics retailer, actually.
True.
Yeah. Bring them back, I say.
The day's coming.
Mike nods. Yes. Producer Mike, I've hit all the live reads. We've answered the questions. What is left to do on this here inaugural run of all day featuring Lofa Tatupu and Brett Davern? Close it out? That's it for our time today?
I think it's a wrap, brother.
Did we hit all the questions you guys wanted? I hope so. Thanks so much for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you. We really do appreciate you guys tuning in and staying with us. I think, as we kick this thing off and continue this season, let's just see where it goes and have some fun with it. Lots of opinion.
A lot of fun.
Lots of things to react to as we go through it here. Shout out to our sponsors, Simply Seattle, EpicSeats.com for all your buying and selling seats needs, and then Delta.com. Fly Delta every single place you go. This has been the All Day Podcast. Your home for all the Seahawks news all year long, whether we're breaking it or chatting about it, yelling and screaming about it, ranting about it, jumping up and down. It's all fair game here on the All Day Podcast. I'm Brett, that's Lofa, and I think that we're out of here.
Cheers.